Hello, everybody, and welcome. This is Adrian. Thank you so much for joining me today. Let's talk about the EU4 Dharma expansion. This is going to be an impressions review video for the newly released, I guess you would say, Europa Universalis IV Dharma expansion for 1999. That's released on September 6th, 2018. So, first off, let's get into kind of just a summary. What do I think of the expansion? I think it's cool. I actually think that the free update has added a lot of nice stuff to the game, to Europa Universalis IV. So now we need to differentiate, okay, if I buy this expansion for $19.99, what is it that you get for your money? And in that, I'm just going to tell you straight up, I don't think that the price tag of $19.99 is worth it for what you get in the actual expansion. There's stuff that's free, that's available for everybody who plays Europa Universalis IV, and then there's stuff that's specific to the expansion. We're going to go through the patch notes here, talk about what's specific to the expansion, and what I've experienced in my playthrough of the expansion in the 1.26 Moogles update, and tell you what I think is cool and what's not so cool. So, let's jump on in. My experience with the game, I've played about maybe, I don't know, maybe 5, 6, 7 hours with it now. We're doing a campaign as the Timurids going into the Moogles, so I've only had a limited experience, limited gameplay experience with the expansion, but I've tried to dive into, you know, as much as I could with most of the features that I have available to me. So Paradox also did give me the content pack, which is a separate content pack available for Europa Universalis IV. That is $7.99, not to mention the expansion, which is $19.99. So if you wanted to get literally everything that's included in this, you know, a kind of expansion slash update, you would have to pay $26.99 to get everything. So just keep that in mind. You don't have to get the content pack. You know, technically you don't even have to get the expansion pack, but let's just talk about what comes in the expansion, that, you know, kind of my thoughts on things and why I don't think Dharma is worth it, at least at full price. So, there's a new feature called government reforms. You get to customize your government form, whether it's a republic or a monarchy or anything like that. You get to customize your government through government reforms. There are specific types of government reforms for pretty much like, there's like different government forms for certain cultures. There's different government forms for certain religions. There's different government forms for, you know, like differentiating between principalities and republics. There's a lot of different stuff going on there. I think the government reform system is cool. It kind of feels like Hearts of Iron 4 in that you can have different laws, you know, like your conscription law, your trade law, your economic policy, you know, things like that. It kind of feels like that. There's different reforms and different laws that you can pick to have different features. They're not like major, huge changes in gameplay. They're nice. It's a pretty nice system. I enjoy it, and I think it's nice to actually have some unique government forms and things like that. It's cool. It's just not, you know, a game changer. I don't feel like it's a game changer. It's incremental change of your government, and it's cool to have, but I just don't think it's like a game revolutionizing feature. So don't go into the expansion thinking that. So that's the first feature here that's part of the expansion. The second is send a highly cultured letter to your best rival forever using scornful insults. So scornful insults is the feature, I guess you could say. I haven't really used this at all, so take that for what you will. There's newly upgradable centers of trade mechanics. So centers of trade are now either level 1, 2, or 3. You can spend a lot of money to upgrade a 1 to a 2 or a 2 to a 3, and certain, you know, benefits come out of that. Take with that what you will. It's pretty much you spend money. You just spend ducats to upgrade centers of trade. So the more money you have, the better you can upgrade centers of trade. And it's kind of just a snowball sort of effect that happens from there. There's new estates now. So estates are actually a free, they're free now for everyone who owns Europa Universalis IV. The estate system is no longer locked to the Cossacks DLC. There's certain estates that are still locked to certain DLCs. So, for example, the Demi and the Cossacks estates still require the Cossacks expansion, which is a different, separate expansion from this one. So that's different. And so because estates are free, now there's certain estates for specific like technology groups or certain culture groups, things like that. So a specific expansion feature is that the Brahmin Vyseas, Jain, Marathas, and the Rajput estates for Indian tech group nations. That's a specific expansion feature. So if you want to have access to those unique estates, you need to have this expansion. There's also a unique infantry regiment type, the Rajput regiment infantry unit type. That's specific to the expansion, similar to horde units, you know, or banner infantry, battle cavalry from what expansion was that? Oh, shit, that was, what is that? Mandate of Heaven, I think, or even further back than that. So as a horde can raise specific, or I guess a Manchu horde could raise specific banner infantry, or like the Qing Empire can raise specific banner infantry and banner cavalry. There's now a unique Rajput regiment infantry unit type, so also similar to the Ottomans. The Ottomans have Janissary infantry that's specific to them. And so, you know, if you're interested in that new specific regiment, you have to have the expansion. A big part of the expansion is new missions. So there are specific missions for specific countries that is very, very unique to this expansion. So if you want the mission trees, pretty much like Hearts of Iron 4, if you want the national focus trees, if you want the mission trees, you have to buy the expansion to be able to get them. There's new missions for Orissa, Malwa, the Mughals. One has been added for the Timurids. Then you have unique missions for Bamanas, Mewar, Gujarat, Vijayanagar, Delhi, Bengal, Bharat, Hindustan, and Taungu. So if you want to play any of those countries, I'm going to recommend you get this expansion because the missions are cool. But just know that the missions, instead of being like, you know, alternate history paths, like you go down one and you can't experience the others, you kind of end up completing almost all of them in like one playthrough or two playthroughs maybe. So take that with what you will. If you're not so interested in playing a nation multiple times, I think the expansion is a little more worth it. But if you want something like longevity or like a different gameplay experience, but the missions will always be the same, you might, you know, value the new mission trees a little less. There's new disasters for new estates. So specific estates will now have their own disasters. But the way that disasters fire has been changed in this patch, so I actually haven't even experienced a disaster yet. So if you're interested in having some unique disasters and stuff for new estates, get the expansion. There's a new feature called Autonomous Rebel Suppression. You can choose an army to hunt rebels in a specific area. I don't actually use it that much. Maybe I should, but I don't use it that much. It's a nice feature, don't get me wrong. I think it's maybe a little lackluster to be a paid feature, but that's just me. I really don't use it that much, so, you know, that's just me. Owning the Dharma DLC now unlocks the trade company mechanic. So if you're a European nation with a capital in Western Europe, or I think in Europe in general, it might just actually be Western Europe, you can create trade companies in, you know, places like India, you know, Indonesia, that sort of thing. And owning the Dharma DLC will now unlock that mechanic for you, the trade company mechanic, and you can customize trade companies and kind of change how they work and different, you know, policies for them. I haven't had a chance to try it out, but if you're interested in that, if you really want to be a true colonial power and kind of, you know, faithful to history, you're going to want to get this expansion for the trade company mechanic. There's new government specific reforms. There's new specific government reforms, sorry, for certain like culture groups, certain nations. So there's 3 government reforms for Deccani Sultanates, 3 government reforms for Southern Indian states. There's a specific Rajput kingdom government reform, 2 Sikh government reforms, 2 merchant kingdom government reforms. There's a Gond kingdom government reform, 2 Bengali government reforms, a Mandala system reform for Southeast Asia. And then there's 50 new events for the new Indian estates that have been added in the expansion. So you get the estates and the new events for those estates together. You're not going to get one or the other. So if you're interested in those new events, trying out the new estates, you got to have the expansion. Apparently monsoons are now affecting the Southern Hemisphere, and apparently monsoons are an expansion-specific, I guess, province modifier, I guess you would say. A monsoon is what is that, like a tropical storm or something? And then, so there's new features for trade companies. There's trade company investments, where you can develop the riches of the Orient. So, I believe if you own an expansion feature that allows you to use trade companies, or if you own an expansion that allows you to use trade companies, but you don't have Dharma, you cannot use trade company investments. That's my understanding. I might be wrong about that one, but that's what I'm reading so far. To use trade company investments, you have to have Dharma. That's, as far as I know, that's what it is. You can set up your trade company through coin rather than sword using the charter trade company interaction. So usually what you do is you colonize an area or province, and then you designate that province to a trade company. You don't have to do that now. There's now a new charter trade company interaction for colonial powers. And then there is a specific unique government reform or unique government form, for the Mughals that lets you assimilate cultures that you conquer. So if you want to play as the Mughals, or you want to form the Mughals, for example, as the Timurids or one of the Timurid vassals, you get a specific unique government form that's specific to the Mughals that once you conquer all of a culture's provinces, you assimilate that culture. So if you're interested in playing the Mughals, which we will be doing in our Let's Play of Europa Universalis IV Dharma, then you should get the expansion. Because that's pretty cool. There's a lot of stuff that's unique to the Mughals in this expansion. And then there's something called settlement growth. You can now send colonists to promote settlement growth in owned provinces instead of colonizing. When doing so, there's a chance each year the development of the province will increase by 1 in a random category. So that's pretty cool. If you want to build a little more tall, instead of going wide, you can use colonists to promote your own growth in your own, core provinces rather than colonizing stuff overseas. And besides that, there's been new missions added for the Russian principalities, for Novgorod, and then for Russia and Muscovy. These are specific missions. They're supposed to be with the Third Rome expansion, so I believe you have to own Dharma and Third Rome to get these missions. But if you're interested in trying out some stuff as Russia or Muscovy, as well as Novgorod and the Russian principalities like Ryazan or Tver or something like that, then you should also get Dharma. And that's it. That's it for the paid features. For $19.99, this is what you get in the expansion. And I just feel like it's a little lackluster for the price. If this was maybe $10 or $15, I'd probably feel a little better about recommending it. But just for $20, not to mention the whole separate content pack that you have to purchase for the unit graphics, advisor portraits, and I believe it's 10 minutes of music specific to Dharma. This is just a little lackluster as far as features. Don't get me wrong, I'm having fun. I enjoyed Dharma. It's fun. It's a good time. It's Europa Universalis IV. We're going to be playing as Mughals. It's enjoyable. I enjoy the game. I enjoy the patch. I love it. The thing is, though, is I need to step into the shoes of a consumer, one of you guys, and I need to decide whether or not I would buy this expansion on my own with my own money for these features. And I probably would, just because I'm a diehard Europa Universalis IV fan, so I need to have all the shit, need to have all the things. But honestly, if you're tight on money, or you're really not that interested in playing in India, you're not that interested in trying out these new countries, if you're really not interested in India at all, like you prefer to just play Europe and like that's about it, really, I'm not sure if this expansion is for you. Definitely get it on sale at the very least. Don't pay full price for it. Especially don't get the content pack and the expansion, because that together is a lot of money. It's $26.99 for both of those. It's just a little lackluster. The missions are cool. Don't get me wrong. The missions are cool, and I'm excited to play as all these countries. But if it was me, and I had to pay for this expansion, I got it for free from Paradox. So that's just me. But if I was a consumer and I had to choose about whether or not to buy this expansion, I know for sure for me that I would probably want it to be just a tad cheaper, like $15. Honestly, if they did $19.99. and you got the expansion and the content pack together, instead of $26.99, you just get $19.99, that's a done deal. I'm sold. That's good enough for me. But just for $19.99 for just these features, not even to mention the content pack, is just a little pricey in my opinion. So that's what I think. You let me know in the comments below, what do you guys think? Have you purchased Dharma, or have you not purchased Dharma? Why are you holding off on not purchasing it? Has this review/impressions video helped you at all? Let me know what you guys think. So I will see you guys in the next video, in the next episode. I hope this helped you somehow make a purchasing decision. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you so much for watching. As always, please make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you guys think about this. Think about the expansion. If you played it already, do you enjoy it? Do you not enjoy it? Are you regretting your purchase? Do you enjoy your purchase? Let me know. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks so much.